Hey, this is Jeff with Kate Coaching, and we're hanging out with Michelle. And it is about day 90. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for going through this process with me. Um, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about how your day's going. It looks really gorgeous where you are.
Yes, it is beautiful. My day is going well. Spent the morning with my girls having breakfast and looking for a bathing suit for Delilah because my husband's going to take the girls to the beach today. Uh,
Nice.
and then I got a ride into to work and came to this beautiful garden, which is right outside of the flower shop, and it is stunningly beautiful. And I kind of showed Jeff a little quick peek of some of my highlight favorite details. But it is something like when we started this process, I think one of the early videos showed where I had been working
Hmm.
and my personal garden, and then the fact that for whatever space the business would go to, that an outdoor space was crucial, and that is what we got.
It
So
is amazing, and I got the not the full tour, but the full
uh,
outside tour, and it is
you only
gorgeous.
got half of it too, because there's more that
Oh,
extends
really?
this way and more that extends that way, and behind me, it's an alley that was filled in 30 years ago and planted, and
Wow.
it's stunning. It's beautiful. So,
That is awesome. And my pugs are whining if you can hear them in the background.
oh,
They want to come say hi.
oh, they can come say hi.
Yeah, right? Maybe later. So, I guess I'm really curious to hear you share a little bit about what this experience has been like for you. I mean, we've got a lot of videos of you kind of checking in, but I mean, when we talked originally, when we were kind of agreeing to do this, you were in a very different place. So just tell us a little bit about that experience.
I think it's really hard for me to look back and objectively see where I was at,
Mm,
because where I am now, I kind of look back and I was like, oh, I was okay. I do think like one of the biggest shifts is that idea that actually um, like having a choice
mm,
and on what my life is like and what I'm doing. I can choose anything and I can create that and I can make that a reality, which is like a very empowering feeling. So,
yeah.
so I guess that's different because maybe there was a time when I was like, oh, this is my life. This is what it is. There is no choice. It's just this. And I really don't feel like that. I feel like, I look back and I was like, oh, like it was great. Like I had the time to spend with the kids.
Mm,
And now it's like I have this amazing opportunity kind of fell in my lap to do this business and to kind of get this jump start, and that's the path that I chose to take. Um, and I kind of like in looking at it now too. I don't think that either choice would have been a bad choice. Like I could do this or I could have done that, and I think either one would have been nice. Or is good.
sure. Well, I like that you said, well, I guess maybe my life, was, maybe I felt kind of stuck or whatever. And like
Hmm.
that's not a maybe. I mean, when we first talked, like there was there was this glimmer of hope, I know remember you really wanting to work together and really wanting to start this process,
Hmm.
but there was really, I think, a lack of clarity. And let me know if I'm putting words in your mouth, but I really saw that you were at this crossroads in many ways. I mean, when we first talked, you had all these different things coming up, in terms of maybe having a business partner, maybe buying a business, and at that point, I mean, you really had no idea what to do, and I didn't blame you. It was a lot of things to think about,
Hmm.
but in in regards to that and some other things, I mean, you were in a very different place than you are now. And it's been really cool to watch you make that transformation from this kind of, um, I think, somewhat being at the effect of your life, and
Yeah,
just thinking,
definitely.
these things are happening to me, and I kind of I hope it works out, but not really seeing how that was even possible. To really kind of taking the reins in your life, and now, I mean, I think you're a very different person, and it's been you've always kind of had that, you've always had that possibility, but I think you've really stepped into a leadership role, um, for your family, for yourself, and
Hmm.
definitely for your business. And it's been really exciting to watch, and I think it's going to be really cool as we check in over the next year, and maybe we'll
Yeah.
have to do this again in 6 months or a year, to see where that continues, because you're very much in the beginning stages of this business. It's gonna be really
Right.
cool to see what happens next. So one of the things I wanted to check in with you about was, so there was a gap in the videos. There were like a couple of gaps, and I wanted to just ask you, kind of fill us in a little bit. What did we miss?
Well, I think I'm not even sure. I think we talked about the fact that we did end up, renting the space that we had been actively pursuing. That got us to the point where I can be in this amazing garden and like have my coffee out here, and it's like, and actually right behind me this way is where I go to throw away the garbage. So it's kind of like, oh, let me go throw out the garbage. I'll do it because it's just like this amazing space to like walk through, and it is part of this process is it is definitely the business part of it is taking longer than what I had expected going into it. So our
Mm-hmm.
move really took us uh, pretty much a full 2 weeks to move everything from the business that we purchased from the old location to the new location. And now that it's done, and I think that we really concentrated on just being in it and doing it, and having somebody else to do it was more than what we had budgeted. So we did
Mm.
decide to do a lot of it ourselves. And looking back now at everything that's here, it's kind of like, I can't believe that we did that.
I can't either.
I mean, we just moved an incredible amount of stuff. It was
Mm-hmm.
kind of funny because even the day we're like, okay, but we're not moving the cooler. We're going to pay to have somebody move the cooler. And the day that they showed up, it was supposed to be 4 guys and 2 showed up. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm moving the cooler with these 2.
Oh my gosh.
So we did that and it worked out great. And the guys were awesome.
Mm.
Um, and we're spending time now. And it is like we definitely had set some goals for ourselves. We wanted to have like an opening next week, and we've recently talked that is not going to be an ideal situation for us. And so we're going to
Mm-hmm.
participate in the Second Friday event that they have in this community, but we're going to actually take the time to kind of prepare stuff how we want it and have like this really fantastic party that we had envisioned, and just like we were not in the rush that we had been, and that feels really good. So we also had this crazy experience. This is totally, as Jeff knows, I get off subject and one thing leads to another in my head. But yeah, so we did deliveries yesterday, and then we stopped for lunch nearby, and this guy was amazing. He was like, well, what can I do for you to help you guys with your business? He's like, let
Mm.
me see, like I have a delivery service. Maybe I'll like see if one of the guys like in their off time can help you. So like I'll give him, your number, and then like maybe if you do like 10, he could do 10 and you could pay him for delivery, and oh, you this opening party, oh, I could make food for you. He's like, I'll leave my menus and stuff too, but like I can donate food for your thing. And we're like, okay, great. He's like, and who do I know? We're like, wow, this is amazing. So
That's
I
so
felt
cool.
really good. Like we were attracting, just like, we stopped for
Mm.
lunch, and then all of a sudden it's like it turns into this like business meeting where like somebody who's been really well established here for a long, long time is like, what can I do to help you?
Mm.
Without us even asking. And that felt really great. It was one of those things like basically just attracting this energy, really positive energy that I wanted, which I like that. That's great.
That is
So I didn't I
awesome.
didn't answer your question at all, did I? Sorry.
No, that's perfect. And it brings up a really great point, because what happens in this process is, as we begin to shift our own internal energy, and we shift from, being kind of the victim or being in conflict mode all the time, to a higher level of energy, to that more often more positive place, but just a very different place than we were. We tend to meet different kinds of people,
Yeah.
and it's organic. It's not really strategic or intentional. It's just how it works. And
Mhm.
you've talked about that a little bit in the videos, but I'm kind of curious to hear you say a little bit more. what kinds of people are coming into your life now compared to maybe the kind of person who would have come in like a year ago or, before we started this process?
Well, I do think that we're also, and this is an important part, and we're still new in it, but we're attracting clients that we want.
Mm,
So we're technically not open to the public yet, but we are like having people like if people want a consultation, they can come to our space, and we
okay.
can meet with them. And it seems like everybody, and even some planners that we've worked with in the past, who stop by to drop off props and stuff, are like, "Wow, this is like a total upgrade. Like this space is amazing," and
Yeah.
like they seem really excited too.
Hmm.
And the same thing, and that's kind of what we had envisioned, that when our clients came and they had access to, we can sit in this garden, to talk about their wedding flowers. That it's just so inspiring. Like we come up with really amazing ideas, and the people who come here are really excited to see what we have to offer. And that is one thing that I feel is a big shift in the business, because how I was running the business before from my home, I had to
Mm,
meet people. I met them I would meet them sometimes at the venue of their choice, sometimes at coffee shops. If it was somebody that I knew more in like a personal kind of way, I'd have them, come and we can meet in my garden. But I think that makes a big difference. Like it really speaks to the level of work that we can do. That when we have this amazing space and we have all these props and we're really capable florists, and I am no more capable today than I was 6 months ago. I'm I tend to think I'm really pretty good at my job.
you
Um,
are. I've seen your work.
thank you. Uh, but I think that for other people too, like just kind of seeing this process and where we're at, it
Mm,
really inspires like confidence, and I think that that's
mm,
different, um, and will help us to get the kind of clients that we're looking for. So.
mm. That's really cool. One of the things I'm curious about is well, you mentioned really feeling like you're in a place of choice now where you really have this sense of seeing so many more possibilities and so many more opportunities than you did before, and really having a choice about, I see more options, and I can choose the life I want to create. Essentially, I can choose what kind of business I want to create, and you
Mm-hmm.
go out and do that. And I've really seen you do that so far, just in 90 days, and I can only imagine what that's going to create, and what you're going to create over the next year and 5 and 10 years. Aside from the idea of choice, I'm kind of curious to know what was one big takeaway from this experience or from coaching that you're gonna kind of take with you and continue to use, or what's just been something cool from this experience, just to give people something more specific.
I mean, one of the things that we kind of really worked on. There's two big things that stuck with me. One is kind of a little thing, but it has made a difference in my life.
Hmm.
And this actually came through from one of the groups that we were doing, so it
Hmm.
wasn't specifically to me.
Hmm.
But we were talking about like looking around at your life at like clutter or little things that you didn't take care of. And actually, in our last phone call, you and I kind of talked about it in terms of the garden and
Mm.
like the maple saplings that fall, that like take root, and if you deal with them right away,
Hmm.
it's nothing. It's like, oh, you just pluck that out and it's nothing. Or if you like things in your business or your home, it's you deal with them right away. They're just little things. It doesn't build and become something else. But we were kind of talking about it's how that little maple sapling, like if you don't pull it out, if it's in a place that you don't want, and you let it grow and you let it grow and you let it grow, and it becomes into this much bigger thing. So I think I've really like that visual really helps me to kind of think about, okay, so like this might be something that I don't necessarily want to deal with now, but if I don't deal with it now, it's just going to be waiting for me later, and it's going to be a much bigger thing.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of how you had presented it to me made me think about that kind of thing in a different way. So that was super
Mm.
helpful. And then the other one is like the energy leadership that we had done, like when we were talking about like the energy levels, and um, it was hard for me when we first talked about it. Like I really like put a judgment between like, oh, this one is good, this one is bad, this one is
Mm.
good, this one is bad, and it's taken some work, and I definitely have a lot of work left to do on it as well.
Mhm.
But just to be able to see them for what they are, with trying not to put the judgment to them like that's bad, because I think that they all can have benefits to them, and then can kind of play out. And I think it is really helpful just to be. It makes me more conscious. So if
Mm.
I'm paying attention to both myself and to the other people that I'm interacting with, I think it makes the interaction relationship like I don't know if more real is the way to put it, but
Mm.
just it just plays out in a different way. And I think that just being aware that something like that exists and being um, able to participate in it has been really great. So
Mm.
that'd be the other thing.
Cool. You mentioned energy leadership,
Uh huh.
and the way that people can experience that for themselves, can learn about that, is through the Get Better Brides process, which is that assessment you took at the beginning and the coaching call that
Okay.
comes with it. A lot of times people are kind of unclear about what that's about, because this is a really new and a very different concept than really anything else that's out there. So,
Okay.
how would you describe that to somebody? What was your experience like with that? What did you get out of, that assessment and that coaching call and learning about energy leadership?
I mean, I think a big part of it is just awareness. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
something that um, I didn't pay. I mean, I didn't really know existed. I actually first heard about it in one of the calls that I did with you, like one of the complimentary calls that you
Mm-hmm.
had offered, where you talked to us as a group.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never really explored like the concept or really knew anything about it. And then once I did, I was like, oh, I think I get this, you know. And then I took that assessment, and I was like, oh, you know, like I really felt like I was one way, or like it would come out a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a call that kind of like read sort of what the process was,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was kind of like, oh, like that's different than what I expected. Like I wasn't, I didn't see myself that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then once I became more conscious of it, then I actually felt more in control of like how I present myself, or like that again, kind of bringing up that choice. Like, okay, if I'm aware of like a situation that comes up, and kind of taking that process of the energy levels to figure out like I now have a choice on how I want to react to something. I
Mm-hmm.
shared with Jeff that my car broke down this week, so I could have been like, oh, this always happens to me. Why is this happening to me? You know, like level one. Or I could have been like you know, like I don't know if I want to swear on the video, but like,
It's up to you.
like what the, you know, like I like you know, this sucks. You know, I got deliveries, and you know, I got places to be and things to do and stuff, and I could have just
Mm-hmm.
gotten this angry, and neither of those situations would have helped solve my problem. I still
Mm.
would have been sitting in a car that wasn't working with flower delivery. So I'm like, okay, let me make a different choice. And I probably initially started it out a bit as a level three. I'm like, how can I like get all this done and like figure my way out? But in the end, it actually like it, it, the whole process. I asked for help from florists that I used to work with, who were completely and utterly amazing,
Mm-hmm.
and the end result being like, wow, like these people are like still so important to me,
Mm.
and it's so great that I had this opportunity to like reconnect with them and to talk to them and to really know that like I am like really important to them still too. Like their reaction was like, oh my gosh, how can we help you? What can we do? And then I was kind of like, oh my god, I love you guys so much. So it ended up like being this totally like, you know, the car broke down, but like the end result is like, wow, I still have this crazy tight relationship with these people, and it feels awesome. So like
Mm.
that's so it ended up, I don't know, what would that be? Uh, more five.
Well, most people have
uh,
no idea what the levels mean anyway, so we'll just say it
huh?
was a. I said most people really don't
Okay,
know, which
right.
energy level is which. So we'll just say that it was a really, really high energy level, and it
Mm-hmm.
just sounds like an awesome experience. I mean, I
Yeah.
could definitely see somebody responding in a different way. I mean, most people just get frustrated by that. You're right
Mm-hmm.
that they might step into the level of responsibility and say, "Well, let's just get this done." But
Right.
I mean, most of us just take that with us and we're like, oh, that was that horrible weekend where my car died. It's like the worst thing that could happen when I'm on deliveries. It becomes this like tragic story. And instead for you, it's like this great opportunity to reconnect with people,
Hmm.
to really reestablish that relationship. And who knows what other opportunities are going to come from that down the road. I mean, we have no
Hmm.
idea, but probably some cool stuff. That's just really awesome. Because it could have gone really differently, but you chose
Yeah,
not
and
to
I
let it go.
definitely think probably looking back to when we were talking about how, like I've changed in the process. Like I may have gotten like really upset before and just been like, ah. So, I mean, I think that it's really beneficial. And I mean, and again, it comes back to that empowerment, like feeling like I have control of my life and how I react to things. That it's a choice.
Mm,
Um,
yeah. Hey, thank you for sharing with us your daily life. I mean, when we go through these videos and we look back at you, it's like 10 at night or later. You've really experienced some ups and downs through this process, and I want to thank you for being vulnerable and being honest about this experience because this is just real life as it happens, and
mhm.
it's not this, magic wand where all of a sudden everything is perfect all the time. I mean, this has taken a lot of work on your end. You've really looked at things in your own life and in yourself and decided to make a change intentionally. And that's really cool that you've transformed in the ways that you have, but it's not always easy. So I want to thank you for sharing that experience of like the lows and the highs. Um, but tell us a little bit about Michelle on day 90. I mean, what's different about you today?
um, like it's feeling empowered.
Hmm.
I think that's what's different. Instead of feeling like life is happening to me, it's more like I have control of my life and the choices that I make and what I do, and it's good for me to say that out loud because I feel like it makes it more true. That is one of the other things that in this material, like we had gone through, is um, how how important it is to actually kind of put out there what it is that you want,
Hmm.
and to and it's a part of that creation. Like if I, you know, say that I'm happy and like things are going really great and I actually like I begin to feel it. So I feel it and I believe it and I think like that's a big thing. Like I could again it comes to that choice. So if I say that I'm tired or and then like I think that makes that the reality.
Hmm.
And that is some of the work that you and I did. And there were definitely times I did the videos, but like the calls that we had together were um, amazing because there were definitely times where I just I was kind of like just like back to sort of feeling like things were happening to me that I
Hmm.
wasn't in control of them, and like you and I would like have these conversations, and you'd make me like think about like what I was saying and what I was doing, and I'd be like, huh. It'd be like a light bulb going off. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know, that's not right. Like that's not what I want. So
Hmm.
and then I can just like make that decision to be like, yeah, no, I want to be like strong and energetic and like powerful, and I want to be in control of my life, and I can be. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Well,
So thanks.
well, absolutely. And I just want to clarify because we've had some, we have so much background and we've been through this
Mm-hmm.
process. And for people just kind of, looking in from the outside, I just want to clarify that it wasn't wishful thinking. I think for you, a lot of it was, and for all of us, it's focus. It's, really where you focused your attention. Because I know in the past, it was really easy for you, like it is for so many of us, to focus on what's wrong, or in the situation with the car, to focus on, oh, this sucks, and it's a problem. And like you said, I think you summed it up perfectly when you said that didn't help the situation. I'm still in the car that isn't running. The deliveries are not being made. And yet so many of us just stay there because we don't know what else to do. And yet you've chosen to focus on what you can control and on what you can do. And it's been so cool to see the changes that come with that. Is there anything else that you really want to add?
Well, I think what I would add, and we've talked about this too, but I mean, part of this process too, and us having this conversation and doing the videos was to give people a better idea of what it is that you do,
Mm-hmm.
and it does make a difference. And I do think that um, like being able to participate in this process, like it empowered me. I would not be doing what I'm doing now if we hadn't done this together. And um, also, like I listened to, there's like some other processes too where like I read a book and I did some workbook exercises. I listened to CDs,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that was really interesting and it really added to the process. But the biggest part was actually our conversations, the phone calls that we had,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like it was like like you can read stuff about things and listen to stuff, but then it was like the process of actually like putting it to work and actually doing it and going through and being like, oh yeah, but what about this or what about that, that really made the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So the part for me is like it, there was a really big part that is um, you, the person, Jeff Hellenbrand, that made this difference. Like it's the energy leadership, it's the coaching, but it's also who you are that helps me be a better me.
Thank
So
you.
thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you. It has been an awesome journey. Um, and you're an awesome client, so it's been
Good.
so
'Cause
much
I
fun.
didn't always feel that way.
This is tough. It's tough, and it's real life, So we've definitely gone through the valleys and the mountaintops, but it's a wild ride. Um, my final coaching question for you is, what are you going to create this year? Tell us what the rest of your year looks like. I mean, your
Okay.
business is brand new. You've got this brand new business partner. You've got this gorgeous, brand new to you garden and space and all of this. What are you going to create?
So I'm still with the thing of I want this, and it's amazing to me that this is even possible, but I really do want to create this like fantastic life for my family, like this vision that I have, where like Maggie and Delilah will be in the same school together,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really excited about being able to um, kind of work with the school. It'll be new with them. I think I've shared before that my younger child has cerebral palsy, so there's some additional challenges for her in going to a mainstream school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm like super excited to, and as is her school, to kind of like get that opportunity to, like have her be there and like for them to be able to learn about her life and things, and for her to be able to like kind of share what what goes on with her with like that population and that community, which is super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good for me too because I definitely like I had the girls at two different schools, so I'm excited to really be able to concentrate my energy, um, in one place. And her other school was amazing too, but it is really great. And then like I have this vision for our life where we have this business and like the family participates in it and we're successful and financially we're really comfortable, and we can do things like when like the car breaks down, it's like, oh, got to repair the car. You don't have to like worry about how to pay for it. Just write a check. So I see that as really good, and I do see a future where um, the business is really successful and we're able to hire employees to help us, and have more people contribute to what we're creating. So I'm really excited about that part too. Um, and just, being able to just enjoy this space and being here and um, just seeing kind of what happens.
Yeah. Well, and one hell of a party
Yes,
sometime this year.
yes. So we are going to have like an amazing party where this awesome chef is going to give us some food, and we're going to have classical guitar music provided by Steve Vasquez, who's incredibly talented. He's offered his services, and of course, gorgeous flowers and candles and like this magical night. So yes, I'll definitely, and everybody's invited. So yeah, I hope you'll come.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I really want to go. Let me know when you guys have a
Okay.
date set.
All right, I will.
That sounds
Definitely.
amazing. That's a party I do not want to miss.
Yes, it'll be awesome.
So my last question for you is, what's on the agenda for the rest of day 90?
So for the rest of day 90, um, I'm going to finish unpacking stuff, separate the things that we're going to be taking to the Goodwill,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some stuff that my partner will be donating to her friend for a garage sale,
Okay.
and getting like the physical space organized so that we're more productive in our work. I'm dying to get to like the little drawers where I can organize like the wire and the tape and the ribbon, and I'm like, okay, I got to stick with the big picture, got to get all the big stuff done. So we're taking advantage of this little kind of holiday weekend where we're not really getting a lot of phone calls to be able to like really concentrate on the physical space and getting that in order, which feels really good. And then hopefully home for homemade pizza tonight. So where the kids and Albert will be making pizza.
That sounds perfect.
How about you?
Well, I don't know. I guess this is day 90 for me too. I have some really fun things I want to do for work, and after that, it's a holiday weekend, and I'm not going to be working all day, so just enjoying the sunshine. It looks like the sun is finally peeking out. So we'll see. I may have the beach in my near future. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for being along
Thank
for the
you.
ride and for sharing with us your experience. It's been really cool, and I feel really honored that you could be so open and honest, which would be hard for anybody. But you did it, and it's been cool to see where you are now. So congratulations on making it to day 90 and on the awesome
right.
life you've created for yourself.